here that I've...
Ooh, that looks pretty amazing. That's a Pic Sync, is it?
That's a double Pic Sync. This is a single Pic Sync. I stripped this one down in the optics last night and took great care and washed the mirrors, the prisms, the lens, and took this off and cleaned all that. Well, look.
So these are the various reels of film.
That's a reel of film going through there. I'll put a bit in a moment. Yeah. And they're the soundtracks. 16mm soundtracks. This is a 16mm magnetic track. It's sprocket hold one side. This is the final mix of a film I made called Poem Number 1. We'll set that up in the horse in a moment. That is the picture. And look, there's the start mark. It's a rather jazzy one. You can see the arrows that point to where it would be. There. There we are. See that? Then we put the soundtrack in there. Yeah, there we are. So that will remain in sync for as long as I don't shift anything.
Yeah.
We're going to do an interview, and we're cutting the first response, and when that first response ends, I would park on the frame I want to, as the bloke's lips probably are closing. I'd just cut to that frame, I'd mark it on the film, and I'd go to the soundtrack and put a cross on there as well. Then I'd wind through and I'd cut the end of the visual of the film with that, and I cut the end of the soundtrack part with that. Then I'd spool through, looking at the viewer, all the gubbins in between for the shot change. Then I'm on the interviewer, and I've just as the interviewer's going, and about to say, and what did you do then? I would mark the frame I want to come in on and the sound in sync with it, wind them through, do the same cut with the guillotine here, cut that for picture and sound on the diagonal cutter, let all that stuff drop into the bag, and the tail end of the first response I'd then join in the joiner here, first of all the picture and then the soundtrack. So I'd be able to then just go back in sync, never take it out of the sync, go back in sync and run it through and see how the cut goes.
Okay, so I was just saying, for modern non-linear editors,
yes,
the horse would be our source monitor.
Source monitor, yes.
This would be our sequence monitor.
This is what we're cutting, yes. Cut.
And this machine here is our timeline.
That's it. I suppose that's it, yes. Yes, would be.
In a rough kind of way.
No, that's a good analog.
And then this guillotine and joiner would be our tool buttons.
That's right. That's it. You've got it.
Well, I've got it. That's easy.
Of course it's easy. Just a lot of hard physical work. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. And that's why an understanding of film editing and these techniques are constantly informing me when I'm working on Power Director 15. Because I'm using those principles that guided me for 40 or 50 years in a cutting room when I was editing or when I was working with an editor as a director.